Let's go. Well, first, we'll show the clip of Melanie Joly. She's our Minister of Foreign Affairs. No grasp of foreign issues whatsoever. How is it that she's worse at this job than Chrystia Freeland when she did it? But here we are, reaching new lows. She had no idea about Russian warships and a Canadian warship that was also in the same locale, Havana, Cuba, at the exact same time. So let's show this clip. She's our Minister of Foreign Affairs. Just so this is like her portfolio. This is the thing she's supposed to know. But if you ask her, she probably knows more about what we did to combat the patriarchy in someplace on the African continent. She will know that we gave $6 million to the feminist basket weavers there, but she doesn't know this, what could be perceived to be, if the facts were, as she alleged, a provocative thing with the Russian military. We'll get to reasons why it was not provocative and just absolutely a joke. I think probably a bit of a vacation for everybody involved, but let's roll this clip.
Yeah. There is this strange thing happening in Cuba, Minister, that I'm wondering if you can help me understand. The HMCS Margaret Brooke, which is a patrol vessel from Canada, gone to Havana for 3 days starting tomorrow to celebrate Canada-Cuba bilateral relations. And there's some eyebrows being raised because it's in port at the same time that Russian military vessels, including nuclear-powered submarines, are there. Why would Canada have a Canadian ship in a Cuban port at the same time as Russian military vessels are there?
Listen, this is something that I have to look much more closer to. This is an information that is news to me because the Minister of Defense also works with CAF and DND on this very issue. But of course, we'll look into this and get back.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There is this.
She's going to look into it and get back to you. Okay. Okay, thanks. And by the way, what's the best response she had there? Well, the Minister of Defense also works with the Canadian Armed Forces. She used the acronym CAF, C-A-F there. Yeah, no shoot, Sherlock. The Minister of Defense is in charge of the military, but shouldn't you know if they're doing something provocative with the Russian military when everybody's in Cuba? By the way, why are we even celebrating Canada-Cuba relations? We should be embargoing the daylights out of them still if it weren't for Justin Trudeau's father breaking ranks with the Americans and embargoing them. But the good news is that we weren't provocative with the Russians while we were there. We led a conga line. Yes, we did. The Royal Canadian Navy led conga lines in Havana as part of their so-called deterrent visit to Cuba. Photos show. Let's throw this up. Look at that. Those old junkers, which are not junkers, they're properly maintained vehicles because of the embargo. And let's scroll down. Do we have photos? There are photos out there of the conga line. This is how they were there to deter the Russian military in case the Russian military got frisky. 5 ships to R1. R1 likely decrepit, if I know anything about the Canadian Navy. And they were leading conga lines. Look at this. Good grief. June 17th. This is the Embassy of Canada to Cuba. Our national shame continues. I can't. I just can't. So, oh God. Just, as Marco Navrogini says, that's one heck of a way to intimidate Russian soldiers. Can we go back to that previous photo? I just want to point out something maybe about the people in uniform there. What are they feeding these guys on the warships? No, one more back. It's a lot of white fabric under strain there. You know what I mean? Remember when we used to have fitness standards in the military? And I know some people in the military, yes, they maintain their personal fitness, and I'm glad they do, but good grief. Goodness me. They're making a lot of husky fit uniforms in the Canadian military, I think, these days.